The Seymour Duncan HyperSwitch is the most revolutionary piece of gear that I've seen in a very long time. And if I had one on this guitar a few years ago, it would have saved me a ton of time and money. Now, this video is not sponsored. I bought the HyperSwitch with my own money, but nonetheless, I'm still super excited about it because I've wanted this type of thing to exist for a really long time. So we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, but first let me explain the basic idea behind the HyperSwitch and introduce you to this really awesome guitar. The Seymour Duncan HyperSwitch is essentially a normal sized 5-way switch with a circuit board attached to it powered by a 9-volt battery that connects to an app via Bluetooth and allows you to change your wiring diagrams on the fly to anything you can imagine. Now I know you all just heard 9-volt battery, Bluetooth, app, circuit board, and you're thinking to yourself, this is going to be super complicated and dangerous for your guitar. I promise I will dispel all of your concerns in a second, but first let me introduce you to the new, most versatile guitar ever. This is of course a Parker Nightfly, and it has Soar Thornbucker pickups and a Soar single coil in the middle position. These pickups sound absolutely amazing split, so I thought it would be a perfect test for the HyperSwitch by Seymour Duncan. And this guitar also has a piezo bridge, and my tech Joseph McCoy, who installed the HyperSwitch, was able to power it off of the same 9-volt connection that goes into the piezo bridge. So from one 9-volt battery, I'm powering the piezo bridge and a HyperSwitch. And since I didn't do the install myself, it makes more sense for Joseph to explain to you how difficult it was or wasn't, so I'll let him do that now. How difficult was this to install as compared to any other active pickup setup?
Difficult wouldn't be the word I would use. It's definitely more involved. You got the terminals, you gotta be on top of it about the diagram, about where you're putting each wire. There's no crazy left turns that'll get you all mixed up, but it is some time and it is some effort, but it's pretty straightforward. And if you want to see more repair videos of me fixing guitars, I do have a YouTube channel, put it in the description. Go click if you want to see more content like this.
So in addition to the install being pretty straightforward, I wanted to make sure that this system was totally idiot-proof, so I started using the power switch with the app without reading any instructions or watching any tutorials, and I really figured it out in just a few seconds. It's that simple. When you plug your guitar in and open up the app, you're prompted to move your 5-way switch 2 to 3 times to pair the app. Once paired, you can start to tweak your setup and save the presets into the app itself. Now, when I'm using the app, I get a loud Bluetooth interference sound that goes through my setup, but once I unpair the app, everything sounds great. And now would be a good time to explain the Bluetooth thing because a few people seem to be confused about that and also concerned. The point of the system is not to always connect your guitar to the Bluetooth app. You only connect your guitar to the app to configure your pickups. But if you aren't interested in making any changes, there's no need to connect the app whatsoever. You just plug your guitar in like normal and play like normal. In other words, let's just say you connect the app one time, you figure out your favorite setting, and that's all you want to keep it as forever. You just never pair to the app again. That will always be stored in your guitar, and it basically functions like a normal guitar at that point. You just need a 9-volt battery, of course. Now, just for fun, I'm going to walk you through me using the app in real time and making some presets that I'm going to show you, and then I'll, of course, give you all of the tones. We're going to be doing everything clean today so you can actually hear the tone of these pickups and how it's working with the app. And we're going through a very simple Fender style rig on my Axe FX3 with just a little bit of reverb, no other effects. So I'm just going to come over my phone and press the HyperSwitch app. Now, if I just press connect at first, you'll notice that it'll search for a while, but then it will not find anything. And that's because I did not turn the Bluetooth on from the guitar itself. And then it will tell you that in order to turn on the Bluetooth, you need to hit the pickup switch 2 or 3 times. Now it's on. I'll press retry for the connection, and now it comes up, and I can select the HyperSwitch, and now we're right into the app. Now, when you first open the app, it's going to be set to whatever you used in the last time. So right now, as you can see, if I move my pickup switch up or down, I'm changing the tone on my guitar, but you're also seeing it change on the app. And like I mentioned before, you're probably hearing a bit more of the Bluetooth interference right now. But again, when I disconnect the app, all of that will go away. So if I go to the neck position and start my whole process of creating the setup that I want, I'm just going to start with a neck humbucker pickup sound because that's my standard neck pickup sound. So I'll press full on and standard, and I have a normal humbucking pickup sound in my neck. But I could also reverse the polarity, so I'll try that real quick. And And that's of course a totally different sound. Not something that I would personally use, but who knows, maybe you want to use that sound. Anyway, go back to standard. My standard neck pickup sound, I'm going to press save. And when I press save, that means that for this preset, that neck pickup sound is saved in position 5. I'll go down to position 4 here. And for this position, I want to just have my neck pickup in a single coil mode. No other pickups with it. Right now, it has the single coil from the neck and from the bridge. I'll turn off on the bridge. And now I just have the single coil from the neck. That's what I wanted. I'll hit save. Now for position 3, I don't actually want to use this middle pickup. Instead, I want to have a telly style middle position sound. So I'm going to go to my neck pickup and I'm going to turn on just one of the pickups. Now I should also mention that for some reason the app is telling me that north is south and south is north. But I think that's just a glitch in the app because it is correct on the guitar. So ignore that for now. I'm going to turn the middle pickup off. And I'm going to turn on the south pole for the bridge pickup. And now I have that kind of a telly sound. And I can press save. For position 2, I want to have the middle pickup. And I want to have a single coil from the bridge. So this is our position 2. And right now I'm hearing that it doesn't sound like I want it to sound. And that's because I need to reverse the polarity for this middle pickup. And just like that, I have the sound that I was thinking of. Now, of course, if you don't want it to be reversed, you can store this sound if you wanted to. But again, that's not what I'm looking for. So I'll reverse it and I'll hit save. And then for our final position for the bridge pickup, I want to have a single coil sound. So I'm not going to start a humbucker. I'm going to select the south pole, kind of like a telly sound. And that's what I want. So I'll press save. And now I'll come over here to save preset. And I'm going to store the entire setup now. And I can give it a name. Press submit. And now I have all of that configuration saved. And if I come over here and press disconnect on the app, it's disconnected the guitar from the app. The Bluetooth is now completely turned off and you hear there's no more weird interference sound. I just have my normal, beautiful guitar sound. So let's hear what that pickup configuration sounds like. Here's the neck. Now we have that kind of a telly sound, single coil from the neck, single coil from the bridge. Single coil from the bridge, single coil from the middle. And now for the bridge setting, I just have the single coil. And just like that, I have this setting like this forever. And I'll say it one final time, no matter what I do, if I turn off the app, uninstall the app, it does not matter. I give this guitar to a friend, it does not matter. It will work with this setting, no issues, as long as I have my 9-volt battery in. Now, just to show you a few of the other more unique functionalities of the Switch, I'll do a few other things, but again, this is how I would personally probably use the app. So let's connect it one more time. 1, 2, 3, connect. I'll select the HyperSwitch. You can, for example, turn off the tone knob for a particular setting. So now in this position 5, I have my normal sound, but the tone knob does not work. So for example, if you're someone who likes to have the tone knob only wired to their bridge pickup, you can do that. You just turn it off in position 5. When you move to position 1, you turn it on. Or you can do the opposite if you wanted. So you have that functionality as well. You can also wire 2 tone knobs and then select 2 tone knobs in the app, and you can work with it that way as well. So you have so much versatility here. And just to be really strange, let's just say for some reason you wanted everything to be totally backwards and out of order. Maybe I want what's normally the neck pickup to be the bridge pickup. Well, of course you can do that. I'll just turn my bridge pickup on in position 5, turn my neck pickup off, hit save, and now for whatever reason, if you wanted to do this, when you're in your neck position, you have your bridge with the tone knob working. And when I go to my bridge now, I have my bridge in single coil. Or maybe I want my bridge reverse polarity. Or maybe I want my bridge reverse polarity with my neck also reverse polarity. I don't even know what that would sound like, but let's just see. So you know what? I'm going to keep that for now just so we can see what it sounds like without the Bluetooth interference. I'll press save. I'll come over here, disconnect the app. And now I have that very strange reverse polarity bridge and neck pickup together sound. Everything else is going to be the same from the prior setting. So as you can see, it's super easy to use and you can just do this on the fly. You don't even have to read the manual. It's just pretty self-explanatory if you've ever used any type of app before. If you like the fact that I do these gear reviews 100% unbiased, I spent my own money, I paid Joseph as well, I did this all on my own dime to give you an honest opinion, give this video a like and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can continue to keep things unbiased in the guitar YouTube sphere. Okay, so let's talk about some of these concerns. Number one, a lot of guitarists are annoyed about having a 9-volt battery, and listen, if that's you, if you hate EMGs because they use a 9-volt battery, if you hate Fishman Influence pickups because they use a 9-volt battery, then this system is not for you. But I know that a lot of guitarists by 2023 are used to having piezo bridges or Fishman Influence pickups, so the idea of a 9-volt battery isn't that intimidating anymore. In terms of the Bluetooth, like I already said, you're not using the guitar with Bluetooth at all times. You're only using it when you want to change your setup in any way, and after that, your guitar is not connected to Bluetooth. Another thing is, of course, that there is now a circuit board connected to your guitar. I don't really want to sit here and convince you that circuit boards are fine to have in your guitar. I have Parker Fly guitars that have circuit boards that were installed in the 90s, and they're still working perfectly fine today, 30 years later. So at this point, I don't feel like we should be worried about circuit boards as a guitar community. This is a very well understood technology and it holds up well over time. Now, this next section of the video that I'm going to conclude with has my real-time reaction and thoughts to the guitar when I first used the app and the system for the first time. I'm just gonna go out and say it. I think that the Seymour Duncan HyperSwitch is the greatest electric guitar innovation in terms of electronics that I've seen in my guitar journey thus far. I've been playing for 19 years. I've never seen anything that's going to be as innovative as this, for me personally. I'm gonna give you some real world examples of what I've been doing recently over the last few months to try to drive home this point here. Okay, we're gonna put down this guitar. So a couple of weeks ago, I got this Telly. Maybe about a month ago now. This is an amazing Klein Telly that I absolutely love. The one thing that I didn't love about it were the pickups. I like noiseless pickups, so I had my boy Joseph install noiseless DiMarzio pickups in this. It sounds amazing. This is now one of my favorite sounding guitars. That being said, I have it set up in a normal 3-way situation. If I want to hear the split sound of this real humbucker, I have no option. I can't connect this pickup to this pickup with a split sound here. If I wanted to do that, I have to have things rewired, and that's fine, but I now have to take it to somebody to do it, or I have to take the guitar apart to do it. Okay, small example right there, but I did want to try that sound. I can't do it with this guitar. Okay, let's keep going. You'll probably see this Steinberger guitar. I've also been playing this guitar and really enjoying it. Now, from the factory when these were made, these came with push-pull switches that turned each pickup into reverse phase to mimic a single coil type sound. When this guitar came to me, someone had messed with it And so it didn't have those stock settings. Instead it had a normal split coil thing with the push pulse. So I had to take it to my boy Joseph, and I had to ask him, hey, can you change this back to reversing when you switch it? And he did that. And I got it back, and I'm like, you know what? I actually don't like that sound. So now I have to go back to him and ask him again, can you reverse this again or change this pickups again? Yes, I know. I can learn how to solder myself, but even if I knew how to solder, I'd have to take the guitar apart, change the pickups, all of that. You know how soldering works, okay? It's another step that I have to do. This happened to me recently. Something else that happened to me recently. I got this beautiful, beautiful Sean Lane signature model VJ guitar. Again, now one of my favorite guitars along with the Klein Telly. This came with Joe Barden pickups, and I freaking love the way they sound, but it came with them wired in a way that I didn't like. In positions 2 and positions 4, it has a single coil from each pickup with the middle pickup, and I don't like that sound with this guitar. In fact, I've never played these pickups before this guitar, so I don't even know what my favorite sounds would actually be. So really my only option now is to kind of imagine what my favorite sounds would be. I can have them soldered in there, and then when I get the guitar, I have those sounds. But again, if I don't like them, or in a couple of months, if my tastes change, I have to resolder everything over again and change it, so on and so forth. And again, if you go through trying a lot of different guitars, a lot of different pickups, it becomes a hassle to either take it to somebody, or even if you can do it yourself, you have to spend time resoldering these things. It takes a lot of time, unscrewing, rescrewing. You get the idea, guys. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to start putting power switches into all of my main guitars. I know that sounds crazy. I will say there are a few things I would like to see Seymour Duncan change in the future. I would like for them to invent some type of knob that is a rotary style knob whereby you can save your presets. That would be really, really cool if you can save your presets on the guitar. You don't have to change your preset by taking out the app. I would like to see them do that eventually. I would also like to see them create their own push-pull switches, or maybe they can integrate push-pull functionality somehow. But I would love if we can use a regular push-pull knob with the power switch and get even more options that we can have on the guitar without have to, again, go to the app and change the configuration. And I'm sure they're going to work on these things in the future, but could you imagine having a mini switch here that has a 3-position mini switch, and you can have 3 things stored there. Then you have push-pull enabled on each volume and tone knob, and your 5-way switch. And then on top of that, you can save different presets for how you want them to be. I mean, that, in my opinion, would be the ultimate guitar in terms of electronics. And this is a step forward that I feel like a company should have done a very long time ago. Maybe one other thing that they could imagine doing, what if we could have another chip in there that has MIDI functionality so that you can have the guitar and the pickups and the cable coming out of your guitar all work via MIDI with your Axe effects or with anything else that you're using, and then you could just have the song switch everything for you. You change presets, it changes everything for you, done. I think that what Seymour Duncan did here is leading us down to that future one day where, again, we start performing, we hit one button on our foot, it changes everything from the amp to the pedals to the pickups for us, so we could just worry about playing songs. Or if you're one of those bands that plays with backing tracks, you, as the track goes in Logic, it switches all the MIDI stuff for you, including your amp and your pickups. I just really feel like that this is a huge step forward for guitar electronics. So I hope Seymour Duncan makes those improvements in the future, but even if they don't, this is still, this is amazing. So I want to conclude by just talking about a few use cases that jump out to me immediately. Number one, someone like me who likes to experiment with sounds, who gets a little bit stale when it comes to sounds over a couple of months. I have this in here, and then in a few months, my ideas change about what pickups I like. I can just change it, go to the app, figure out the configuration, so on and so forth. So for someone like me, that's going to be something that I just want in my guitars, period. If you're someone who is afraid of having an app synced with your phone, even though when you go to play, you turn the app off, it doesn't sync anyway, it doesn't matter. But let's just say you're someone who doesn't like having a power switch in there for whatever the reason. Get your favorite guitar, throw the power switch in there for maybe 3, 4, 5 months. Experiment, find the sounds you want, and then once you know all your sounds that you like, you can just take the power switch out and hard solder that setup if you want to do that. So even if you're someone who doesn't like the idea of having the power switch long term, I think that's a great option to use. And hell, if you want to get really crazy with it, you can just have the 9-volt battery dangling out from the pick guard if you don't want to cut a battery box, if you're doing it for a temporary period of time. That's just something you can try as well. Quite obviously, anyone who does studio work, how could you not think this is amazing? With pickups like these, which are really good at making split sounds, this is an innovation that I'm so happy to see. And in terms of me getting frustrated with gear and frustrated about certain things that companies do, this is the opposite of that. This is what we need more of. So I've been filming, editing, and re-editing this video for 4 or 5 days now because I keep thinking of new things to say. This is the last thing I'm going to add, and I'm sure I'm going to forget something else, but whatever, I have to release the video now. Yes, you could have a guitar with push-pull knobs and mini switches and all of that stuff. And if you've ever seen my favorite Parker that I customized to be for me in particular, it has a bunch of mini switches and push-pulls and all of that stuff. The thing is, when you're actually playing and you just want to quickly move to a sound, it's a pain in the ass to have to hit this 5-way switch and then pull up one knob to get a tone and then move it this way, move it that way, hit a mini switch. Yes, it's fun to have when you're making YouTube videos, when you're playing, when you're jamming at home. But if you're ever in the heat of the moment, it's just too many things to have to hit and switch to get one sound. I'm bringing this up because even if you just use the HyperSwitch for the simplest thing, all of a sudden now for this particular month, you like having single coil pickups, so you set it all to single coil mode and that's your 5-way switch. That feature alone is going to be so much easier than having to repeatedly hit push, pulls, pots, and all of that stuff in order to get your pickups to work. So even if you don't want some crazy type of pickup situation, even if you could achieve all of your tones with push-pull knobs and mini switches and all of that stuff, having the switch will make it so much easier when you just want to get to one tone quickly by just moving your pickup selector. In terms of implementation, ease of use, sounds, I mean, Seymour and Duncan knocked this one out of the park. Leave your comments and questions below. I'm not exactly sure if I'll be able to answer them, but I will try my best. Thank you again to Joseph. If you need a tech in a New Jersey area, he is my go-to guy. He is amazing. He's my new favorite person on the planet. So his information is below as well. By the way, I'm Andre Flood. I'll talk to you soon.